What's up, everybody? Binge Well Done coming at you live on this beautiful, tranquil Saturday morning. Today is October the 17th. How are you doing? It took me a little bit there just to get it out, get all my thoughts processing together. So here's the thing. You gotta stay ready. You gotta stay ready for opportunity. This isn't some motivational speech where I tell you how to live your life or anything like that, but I'm being honest with you about something. When this corona period started, I told myself that me as a aspiring comedian, amongst other things, and jiu-jitsu practitioner, am going to be improvising, working on creating and doing new things in every possible way. So not if, but when an opportunity comes, I'll be ready. And guess what? It did. I've been given the great opportunity to be a performing comedian at a very, 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 very large event. And even though I wasn't given opportunities, I was creating opportunities. I was creating moments through hard work and practice and whatnot to answer the call, to be able to rise to the occasion, which is exactly what I did and what I'm doing. You know, through this whole period, everyone, myself included, everyone has had the opportunity to do less or more. I chose to do more. I think it's really important when nothing is going on, when you don't have opportunities given to you, or if opportunities have potentially been taken away, or whatever the case might be, to, I've said this before and I'll say it again, to create an opportunity. And if there isn't even a way to create it circumstantially, for example, like the shutdowns of restaurants or clubs or whatever the case is, or you can always improvise. You can always find ways, okay? Now, this may sound silly to others, but it's completely true. You know how in boxing they have boxers, they do something called shadow boxing where they work on beating themselves? Well, jiu-jitsu, for example, that you do that with someone. But while it was closed here in Texas, the place where I train at, I studied video after video, match after match of a lot of the greats, and I didn't really try to connect any dots. I didn't really try to see something they did. I just sort of let it flow. And I did that with comedy too and stuff like that, with a back intention. And what I mean by a back intention is just like something that, you know how sometimes like there might be something that you're looking for, but you don't really exactly know what it is. But when you see it, you know it's right. That's what I did with jiu-jitsu, and that's what I did with my comedy. You know, there's certain people that I gravitate towards, not just in jiu-jitsu, but in comedy, both. And I keep repeating that because there's so many parallels to whatever you do in life and comparing it to jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is essentially using your own body, weight, size, etc., to nullify somebody's weight, strength, whatever the case may be, all solely based off of technique. It is one of the very few martial arts, if only, that a smaller opponent with proper technique can defeat a larger opponent. And that's what I'm on my way to do right now. But anyway, what I'm getting at is there's a few people that I emulate, and that's a really important word. It's an important term because there's a big difference between someone that you maybe want to, you know how sometimes somebody that you might want to be, okay, compared to somebody who you already are that relates to you, okay? And people like that are people like Bill Burr, Tom Segura, Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, not all of those. And I know I just said like 4 of the greats. But what I'm saying is, the reason why I like those people is because they remind me of myself and my sense of humor, because that's what I already talk about. So that's naturally, in my opinion, the stuff that I enjoy hearing. It wouldn't make a lot of sense if you liked one-liners or certain type of jokes or certain kind of there's certain sports that you just might want to watch that you don't want to participate in. you might love football, but you don't ever want to actually be on a football team. It's not like that with me when it comes to comedy. I enjoy the view from the stage. And when it comes to jiu-jitsu, exact thing also. I enjoy the view from the ground. Not as a spectator. Not interested. But anyway, so during this whole Corona period, those people that I emulate the most, that stylistically just have my body size, or for comedy purposes, my style and sense of humor, it's like a percentage of this guy, but not all of them, and a percentage of that guy, but not all of them. And then somewhere in there, it is a blend of them, and then you have the blend of me, which is in none of them. You know, stylistically, if you know who Bill Burr and if you know who Tom Segura is, completely different styles, but they have a certain similarity to them, which is like a certain aggressive, dark humor to it. Okay, and that's mine. Now, I'm not really going to name names as far as jiu-jitsu goes, because it might not really be names that you're more familiar with. But the point is that I did that during that whole Corona period, and I saw things that these artists, these comedians, or these jiu-jitsu practitioners were doing that would work for me, and I started adding them to my performance, both in jiu-jitsu and comedy. I don't mean to be going back and forth, so I'll keep it neutral, okay? What I'm getting at is, when you don't really have an opportunity to do something, you can always study what it is, or study to pick yourself to that next level. And a lot of people did that. What I was saying earlier about shadow boxing is I did something that I called shadow rolling, and I still do it to this day, and I'm glad I didn't ever stop ever since Corona, which is essentially going through the motions. I really am with a dim light. That way I have some lighting. I'm rolling around on my carpet essentially in the dark, not complete dark, right? But I got like a light on further away that shines close enough, and I'm on my living room floor carpet, and I'm going through motions and stuff. This way, again, just like in comedy, when I'm repeating stuff and remembering things through memorization, I can be reactive, whether it's with my movements or my speech in the moment. And that's what matters most. Reactivity is key. If there's anything that you do that takes any physical exertion, whether it is a combat sport, football, a debate, you want to have your facts in line. You want to have everything to the point of where you're no longer thinking about it. You're past that point. You've gone through that point. Now you're at the reaction phase. And that's exactly what I did. Now I'm really proud of my progress. Extremely. Because I took myself to that next level, but not just in comedy, but in jiu-jitsu too. And I'm not boasting by any means. But if I said I didn't, that would be a lie. And that's not the truth. Without getting too technical, I saw things that worked in jiu-jitsu that always worked for me, that I branched off of and evolved from, and got rid of all the other distractions. Okay? Certain body movements and stuff like that, because of my body size, I would continue to try, but it just didn't work for me. Not because of technique, but just because everything that I do, I like it to be, I like to be able to do it on everybody, not just some people, right? So I'd rather have 1,000 repetitions of one technique as opposed to 100 repetitions of 10 techniques, you know? And as far as comedy goes and whatnot, I broke down my act, I watched my old videos, and I watch other people with, you know, it's amazing when you don't try to connect the dots and you're not trying to make a point when you're studying something, because after like you continue to watch it and you continue to watch it, you start noticing these little small details that sort of pop out. And you know, when I'm going to jiu-jitsu at the end, lead instructor, the owner of the gym, amazing, great guy, phenomenal person, he is going to be asking any questions, and then anytime he makes a small comment, it's like ground shattering information that's so common sense, but he sees those fine details Now, I think everyone should, regardless of everyone, I'm sticking it to myself. I aspire to not just study and refine those details in comedy, but in jiu-jitsu too. But through this period, I also taught myself how to kind of how to study. Like if you go to college, okay, or if you take multiple courses, you essentially are learning the skill of how to learn. It sounds kind of complicated, but it's really not. There's a certain way that there's a lot of different ways to learn material, and stylistically I found ways that work best for me. And it's mainly through repetition and some other aspects and whatnot. But I'm thankful, I'm ready, and now that gyms have started open, I'm able to apply everything that I've been studying and apply it towards jiu-jitsu. Now that comedy clubs are starting to open, I'm saying stuff that I'm literally looked at as though I was a completely different completely different style of comedy, as opposed to what I had previously done. You know, I try not to talk about myself too much, okay? And I know this is supposed to be my show so that people can get to know me, to promote myself, but I started out by saying stay ready, and I meant that because of the fact that I've been staying ready and working on material, improvising everywhere I could go. Gas stations, food court in a mall, getting my tires changed, everywhere I could go, everywhere imaginable. Seriously, there's people, I would do comedy, right? Because all the clubs and open mics or whatever would close down. I took my new ideas to reality. I started saying to people, and I'm making people bust out laugh every sentence. Again, that sounds boisterous and like I'm boasting, but I'm not. It's a really rewarding feeling when you know your hard work paid off, but at the exact moment it's also not, because if you work hard, you should expect your results. And again, that sounds cocky, but it's not. You know, if you work hard in the gym, you're going to get those results. And I've been working hard on this off period, and I've been given the great opportunity to be a part of a very, very large comedy show with more minutes than I've been purposely given before. And I have all the material that I've already vetted, and the reason why I did is because I wanted to, again, stay ready. I stayed ready. Opportunity knocked. I answered the bell, and I'm ready. I'm ready to do this show, and I'm excited about it. Now, I'll be letting out more information about the details of this event. I might put it online, but with comedy, it's sort of a weird thing because you don't want people to take your jokes, and also there's a side fact that if people watch your material, why do they want to watch you live? Because they can watch it on YouTube for free as opposed to paying a ticket. Like, it's silly, but it's true. But to say the least, there should be potentially thousands of people at this event that I'm going to be going to, and I'm going to be one of the comedians for it. So I'm extremely thankful. I stayed ready, and that's what you always got to do. You just always have to be prepared to answer that call and take that next moment to go that next level. For a guy that said, myself, that this wasn't a motivational speech, maybe, just maybe, there was something motivational in there that could help you out. And if it does, that's great. If not, that's okay too. But I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to the potentialness of stagnant waters. You know what I mean? The non-motion, the non-activities, because of this this pandemic that happened and whatnot. Right? It's easily foreseeable to know that everyone has been vastly more unmotivated than ever before. And that was one of the biggest challenges, motivating myself at a period when I kept on working on material without sight of when I'd be able to use it. but I kept everything alive. You got to keep that fire burning. You got to keep that want inside. And do anything you can every single day just to keep that fire going. Whether it's studying or exercising or practicing or reviewing, there's tons of different ways. So just remember, I'm going to leave you on this. If you don't have an opportunity, create an opportunity. If you're at a place for some reason or another that opportunities circumstantially aren't even allowed to be created because of whatever reason, and we'll just say this pandemic, because of everything being closed and whatnot, you can still study your old material, come up with new ideas, and study others that would potentially help you. I've done enough talking. I hope everybody has a beautiful day, and I really look forward to having a bigger audience so that everyone can hear back from me, and I can hear from them, and bounce ideas off each other, and get to really know everybody as they start to get to me know too, as I climb up the ranks of comedy. So anyway, that's all I got. Everybody have a beautiful day. I'm Benja Well Done. Check me out. Peace.